This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net. And down at the bottom, we see Paul Seaburn waving to us. And up in the top, we have John DiNallo for What in the World with?
Paul Seaburn.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's
Karen. I think you told them already.
I know.
Anyways, it's always good to remind them because they may be new. So
They might be.
Yeah, and hello to John down there or up there, wherever he's at. He's down. He's
Hi, Paul.
down
Hi,
on
Karen.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
We're zooming here, right? Zooming on YouTube. Who would have thought we'd even say something like that? But here we are, 2020. We're saying all kind of weird things we never thought we'd say. Wearing all kind of clothes we never thought we'd wear to work. All those different interesting things. And that's all we're going to talk about that. So here we are at What in the World.
Next week we should describe what we're wearing from here down.
Waist down or the waist up?
Yeah, whatever.
Waist up.
Waist up.
Whatever? No, Karen. Never say whatever to me. You should know that by now.
Yeah, I should.
So here we are at What in the World, the weirdest news show you're going to find on the internet. As always, real news, sometimes strange, but always funny. That's our motto. This is news from around the world, around the universe. Over the past week, some of it you may have seen on my Facebook page. Some of it you may have seen at mysteriousuniverse.org, where I'm the editor and the head writer. But we always on What in the World add more. We embellish it. We have some fun with it. And that's the reason why you tune in to see us. And you're tuning in on NewClevelandRadio.net. Karen is the media mogul in charge of that. Go to NewClevelandRadio.net, find my name, and you'll see all the places where you can download our podcast for free, I think, right?
Absolutely, no charge.
For free. You can go over to YouTube and find us on YouTube. You can watch us and see what we look like. You see when John, there must be a bug flying around John's office. He's going to swat it. You never know what he's doing, but he'll be back in time for What in the World of Sports. So, but anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's what we do here once a week, 3:30 live on Tuesdays, and anytime in the future when you watch us on YouTube. And we've got some great stories here, Karen. We'll surprise John with them when he gets back.
Okay.
Let's see. What do I have going on here? Oh, you're going to love this. I've got this really expensive diamond soap from Lebanon we're going to talk about. Monkeys that love music. We're going to see in Thailand. We're going to visit them.
I saw that picture.
Yeah. It was a great picture. Some weird gin from Japan. Giant pythons in Florida. We talked about them before. Florida is always a great source of weird stuff. Kraken, it's in the space station. They finally fixed it. We'll find out how they did that. The Russians, I don't know. The Dung Festival in India. I know you'll be anxious to hear about that.
Dung?
Oh, welcome, Dung. Yeah, Dung. Not dumb. Although it's actually both. It's Dung and Dumb. Wasn't that a movie with Dumb and
Dumber?
Remember that when I get to the story. Aliens in Bulgaria. For Karen, we have a Chupacabra story from Canada.
Chupacabra!
Yeah. If we have time, I got a celebrity on a UFO story. More weird stuff, some world records. John, as always, supplier of strange sports. In addition to his fountain of knowledge on trivia, he's got a great weird sport for us to talk about today. And then whatever else we happen to take a tangent on and talk about. So always, as I said, the motto, real news, always strange, sometimes fun. No, real news, sometimes strange, always funny. I should have that written down.
That's our motto.
That's exactly right. What it is, John. And visual aids, as always. So I'm running out of space on my desk here, so we'll let you get right to it with the gin story from Japan. I thought this was really interesting. Hot new drink in Japan. It's called First Essence Tagame Gin. Now, Tagame means absolutely nothing to us in the United States unless you understand Japanese. This is the world's first gin distilled from giant water bugs called tagames. Now, I learned this in Texas. This is also true in Florida. When you don't want people to know that you have giant roaches flying around or on the ground, you call them something else. So in Japan, they call them water bugs. In Florida, they call them palmettos. I forget what they call them in Texas now, but you make up a name because you don't want people to know you got giant roaches flying all over the place. Well, in Japan, which is kind of like the Florida of the Far East, they'll eat anything. Okay, they even raw. So they're using these things to make gin, to distill into gin. Powerful stuff. The hangover, rumor has it, the hangover will make you want to crawl underneath the refrigerator.
Ooh, sounds
Yeah,
yeah.
eating roaches. And if you don't believe me, and I know you do, but I wanted to show the picture anyways. here's a picture of the before. A whole still
Oh,
full of these giant roaches, just waiting to be distilled into gin. To me, I don't think Trapper John and Hawkeye on MASH would make their gin out of something like this. They would find something in Korea other than giant roaches to make gin. But that's what they do. They actually, and they probably charge a good penny for it, or a good yen, whatever the currency is.
that really looks gross.
I know it does. That's why I did it for you,
I
Karen.
know.
So yeah, so I just did that because I like that picture, and just to point out that different cultures enjoy different things. People look at us. There's all kind of beers. You go in the craft beer section in the store, and there's beer made out of everything. Okay, which I'm sure might gross out somebody in Japan or South America or someplace where they don't particularly care for beer made out of cranberries or whatever's in season. So anyway, so that's our little story about roach gin. Now, sticking with the Far East for a second, we're going to go to China. And this is, I got a picture of this one too. So in China, believe it or not, China has KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Big marketplace apparently for KFC. So they like to try out new things in China. So what KFC has done is they've come up with robotic trucks, completely autonomous, meaning that there's no driver, there's no human in the truck at all, for KFC that allow customers to purchase chicken as the truck rolls by, put their money or their credit card or flash their phone in front of it, and a little door opens up and out pops hot chicken that they can eat in the street or take it back to their house or whatever they want. And these things are so cool. When they're empty, they come back to the barn or whatever it is that they keep them in, and they're always just absolutely immaculately clean because somebody licked them clean.
Oh,
boy.
KFC, of course.
yes, finger looking good. We got it.
I know, that's right. Truck looking good. That's what these are. And here's the cute little truck that
Oh,
isn't that neat?
yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
A universal symbol.
The universal symbol of of heart attacks, right? Universal symbol. So, so John, since you pointed that out, what do you think? Do you think something like that would work in the United States? A driverless little KFC truck going door to door selling chicken?
Well, I would think eventually. I mean, there's obviously a market for the product. I mean, people would buy it. I don't know if people would be so crazy about the driverless vehicle, though, right?
Yeah. See, I think Karen, I saw her shaking her head. You don't think it'll?
No.
I think if it were a tank, maybe, something that no one could tip over and steal or pick up and steal, something really fortified, it might catch on. But it's kind of interesting. We've gone a full circle in our lifetime, because all three of us are about the same age. When we were kids, ice cream used to be delivered around the neighborhood by a Good Humor or a Mr. Softy or Uncle Marty in our neighborhood. A guy in a truck ringing a bell. You knew it was coming. You heard that bell. You ran out. You bought your ice cream. There was the milk was delivered. We had a milkman. You had
Right.
some. There was a bakery. There were eggs. A lot of stuff got delivered. Um, the and then that kind of went away. They went away for a while. Um, and then it started to come back. All of a sudden, we started to have food trucks. Like maybe about 10, 15 years ago, people started selling food out of trucks again. But they didn't come around the neighborhood. You went to them, which
Right,
kind of
right.
defeats the whole purpose of putting it in a truck. But I guess, to go to different places to set up. And then you had Uber come around, and Uber and these other places deliver your food. So, and now we've combined the two back into this driverless KFC truck in China. And it's going to happen in the United States. It's not going to take very long. So I'm thinking, and the thing about KFC is the smell, obviously. You can't walk within 100 yards of a KFC restaurant without smelling the smell, which I know they do. I know they blow that stuff just out into the street so that we smell it, and you say, oh boy, wouldn't that taste good? And you pull and you drive through, and you got a bucket full of wings to eat on the way home, and you end up greasy and fingers
Whatever.
sticky. Yeah. So here we are. So I think if they don't do that, which I think they will, they have to play some music to let people know that the KFC truck's coming down the street. So long way to get to the point. What kind of music would be appropriate for a KFC truck driving down the street to let people know that the KFC truck is driving down the street? John,
the chicken dance.
Oh, what was that?
The chicken dance.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one. That's a good one. The chicken dance. Well, how does that go, Karen?
I just remember doing it at weddings. That's all.
Yeah, but I keep thinking it to put your right foot in, but that's the
No, that's hokey pokey.
John,
I
how
like the
about
chicken dance. That's a good one.
Chicken dance, that's a good one. I had Eat It by Weird Al.
Yeah.
Would be a good one. And also, what was the other one? Eat It, or I had Hungry by Paul Revere and the Raiders. Hungry for a good thing, baby. For somebody like me, I mean, I was a big Paul.
Wasn't there a song? Wasn't there a song? Do the funky chicken.
Yeah, there was
Do the funky chicken.
Yeah.
Do the funky chicken.
Do the funky chicken. And I don't know who did that.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, okay, we'll use that. That'll be in our Bluff the Co-host next week. So speaking of the 50s and food, you'll love this one, Karen. You'll love this one. This is the most popular story I had on Facebook today. Ann Turner Cook, who was the original Gerber baby from the original Gerber products, baby food, pablum, all that stuff, just turned 94. She has been on the Gerber products since 1928.
Wow.
There she is, 94 years old, had a big celebration, made herself a Bloody Mary with strained tomatoes and strained celery in honor of the baby food that she hawked for all these years for them. Believe it or not, so of course I had to look up Gerber. Gerber was founded in Fremont, Michigan. You know, where's Fremont, Karen? You're a Michigander.
Fremont is just north of Toledo, I believe. So where Toledo is between Detroit and Toledo.
Oh, so it's just across the border from the Buckeyes. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize it was that close. So this guy, Dan Gerber, had a company where he made he canned vegetables. He was living near a bunch of farms. He would can vegetables and sell it. Nobody wanted to buy them. So he and his wife had a baby girl, and the girl was sick. She was having all kind of problems. And the doctor said, it's the food. You need to feed her this special prescription food. I love that from that's always worrisome when you can get it is from the doctor. So he looked at it and he said, geez, we ought to be able to make this stuff. And he did. And that became the first Gerber foods. Wow. Then he he needed something, Gerber baby food. So they needed something to help advertise it. He was running ads in Good Housekeeping. So they had a contest, and the contest was send in a drawing of a baby, and we'll pick out the one that we like the best, and it'll be on our product. And this artist happened to draw Ann Cooper Taylor. Was that her name? Ann Turner Cook. And she won. So they put her on everything. She put on everything. She's worth like a couple $1 million. So they didn't pay her a whole lot for it, which is sad, but that's the way those things go. So the thing that I thought was interesting is that people constantly tried to guess who the baby was. It was not revealed for years and years and years and years. In fact, she was on until 2011. 2011, they finally found another baby, and they started slowly phasing that baby in. But in the meantime, people were guessing. So I happen to have a picture, in case you don't remember it. There is Ann, and there's her Gerber baby picture. Now take a good look at that baby picture, and tell me who else that baby might look like. Someone famous. What do you think?
Not you.
No, not me. Oh, thanks a lot. Are you implying that I'm not famous or not cute enough to be on Gerber?
Not cute enough to be on the Gerber baby.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll accept that answer. So any celebrity that reminds you of, Karen?
No, not at all.
John, how about you?
Not Donald Trump.
Oh gosh.
No, they said famous, John. So, and we'll
Not
leave it at that. No, believe it or not, someone made a comment on my Facebook page of one of the people that it's allegedly people thought that it was Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart. Let's look at that again. I don't have a picture of Humphrey Bogart to compare it to, but did that look like Humphrey Bogart?
No.
I don't think so.
That's a stretch, I think.
How about Elizabeth Taylor?
Don't see that either. Not feeling that one.
Okay, John. This one's for you. This was number 3 on the poll. So it was Humphrey Bogart, Elizabeth Taylor. Number 3 that they thought this looked like Ernest Borgnine.
Oh no. Oh.
What an insult. Ernest Borgnine, who must have been famous.
And that lady is still cute.
Yeah, she still is. She still is. She looks like her baby picture. So I thought Ernest Borgnine. They must have taken the poll when McHale's Navy was on. Ernest Borgnine. How awful. So anyway, so Karen, you said you saw the picture I had up of the monkey, the guy playing piano for the monkey. Classical pianist, John, played Beethoven. He takes his piano, he rolls his piano down the street in Thailand, and he plays Beethoven for monkeys, for macaque monkeys. And he says that it immediately makes them calm, attentive, and less aggressive. So I said, I'm willing to set up a fundraiser to hire this guy and set him up in Washington, maybe when Congress is in session or, during whatever they do in Washington, which a lot of people said they'd send money. So maybe I should do that, except then I'd have to give it to them. But so back on the musical theme, Karen.
Okay.
If monkeys could talk, they wouldn't want to hear Beethoven. What do you think the monkeys would request? The number 1 requested song by monkeys in Thailand.
The monkeys, of course.
The monkey. Which monkey song? Let's.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
John, how about you? I've got a couple here, but
how about I'm a believer?
I'm a believer. Okay. Any that weren't by the monkeys? You think? No.
No.
No. Honest. No. Move on. Okay, I have a couple here. One is Monkey Man. Hey, remember who did Monkey Man? I'm a monkey. The only line I remember.
Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones. That's right, Mick Jagger. With those classic lyrics. Well, I am just a monkey man. I'm glad you are a monkey woman too. Monkey woman too, babe. I'm a monkey man. One of my favorite songs.
Oh my God.
Even if it weren't about monkeys, I just Mick Jagger. So the other one that I thought of was Guitar Zan. John, do you remember who?
Guitar Zan by Ray Stevens.
By Ray Stevens, very good, in the Country Music Hall of Fame, believe it or not. And those classic lyrics, and me and a chimpanzee agree that one day soon he'll be a celebrity.
Oh,
Guitar Zan.
They just don't write them like that anymore.
They don't. No, they don't.
That's good, Paul.
That's a classic. Okay, so John, Ray Stevens, very famous novelty singer. What else did he do? Do you remember another song he was famous for?
Oh yeah.
Karen, how about you?
I have no idea.
This was something, John. This was something that was big when we were in college. He did a song about it.
The Streak.
The Streak. That's right. They call him the Streak. He likes to turn the other cheek.
Oh, gee.
Now this one, here's a song. I'm not sure that you could do that song today. Maybe. Here's one that he did that would be impossible to record today. Bridget the Midget, the Queen of the Blues. I don't think that song would make it today.
No, it's not socially acceptable.
Yeah, Bridget the Little Person just doesn't lend itself to rhyming. So anyway, so I thought that was a little musical interlude there. Now let's get to one of my favorite subjects, which is cryptids. You know, animals that are legendary and mythical, may exist. People say they see them all the time, but we never find any proof. And of course, I'm talking about one of Karen's favorites, the
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. That's right, famous for being a little blood-sucking monster from Puerto Rico, and sometimes from a goat sucker, sometimes from Texas. So believe it or not, I guess the Chupacabra likes to go north for the winter, because this story comes from Canada, of all places, from British Columbia.
Wow.
And this is proof. I've said this before, that the paranormal and the abnormal is slowly but surely becoming normal. I am a perfect example of that.
I'll check with your wife on that one.
I know, yeah, that's right. So, so this comes from British Columbia. Jason Chan won the Spelling Bee, Canada's National Spelling Bee in British Columbia, by spelling the word chupacabra correctly. So chupacabra has made it into the lexicon and the spelling bees of the world, to the point where it's one of the tough words for kids to spell. What amazed me even more is that the kid asked the judges, could you use it in a sentence? And they did. And it wasn't, like, what is the chupacabra? Or look, there goes the chupacabra. But they actually used it in a sentence. The chupacabra ate your baby. I think that was no, that wasn't the sentence.
Oh. I hope not.
They were trying to screw the poor little kid up, but he spelled it correctly, with enough of the C's and A's, and I think that's with most of the letters. So anyways, another interesting thing. We're all on computers here. So we're all using computers. We're all using our cell phone. All of those devices have passwords. A security company did a survey. They do an annual survey. So they did their 2020 survey. And this is proof that we'll never learn. The list of worst passwords for 2020. Number 1, worst password, 1234. Still being used by people. 1234.
My God.
Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's when they want a longer password than 6 letters. Number 3, picture 1. Okay, little more complicated, not much. Number 4, this is my favorite password, is password. People are still using this after all the warnings and all the security breaches that we've had. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And number 6, 111111. People are still now. I'll wait, John, while you go change your password because I think wasn't one of those.
I don't have to do that, Paul. I don't think.
No, no. Yeah, I'm sure you have one of those password generators. I'll bet that goes and comes up with some weird thing that no one can encrypt, can break the encryption. But I just thought that was interesting. In case anybody's still using those passwords, there's a warning for you. Don't use them anymore. Now we've talked about this food before. I want to switch over to food for a little while and go to Australia for truffles. I didn't realize that truffles were such a big food in Australia, but it turns out they're all over the place. But they're underground, so you need an animal whose nose is attuned to the smell of truffles. And the animal of choice in Australia is the swamp wallaby, which I think would be a great name for a band, the Swamp Wallabies.
Yeah.
But that's an actual animal. It's a small kangaroo that likes to hang out in swamps, except when it's out looking for truffles. Now, most mushrooms germinate the surrounding around them by shooting their spores out. Truffles don't do that, okay? Truffles must be eaten by the swamp wallaby and then pooped out someplace else.
Oh,
It's swamp wallaby. So the reason why I bring this up, the story itself was about the fact that climate change is slowly but surely wiping out the swamp wallabies, getting rid of their territory, and there's going to be a shortage, possibly an extinction of swamp wallabies, which would have a huge impact on truffles. Except I think a huger impact for me would be that the knowledge that truffles come from wallaby poop.
yeah.
I don't. Do you really want to pay all that money that they charge for truffles and truffle oil and all this other nonsense, knowing that they came from the poop of wallabies?
I think I'm going to contact Michael Simon and ask him why he uses truffle.
Oh, that's right. He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Poop of Wallabies. That was the first album by the Swamp Wallabies. So anyways.
Wow.
Oh, so now, I have a picture of this next one coming up. Swamp Wallabies look just like plain old kangaroos, but this is proof that some people make too much money. There's a family-owned soap company in Lebanon, been in business making soap since the 15th century. So that's the 1400. Same family been making soap out of whatever they make soap out of in Lebanon. This year, they came out with a bar of soap that has fast become the world's most expensive bar of soap. It contains gold and diamond powder, and it sells for $2,800 a bar.
How big is the bar?
I'm glad you asked, Karen.
Yeah.
I have a picture of it. It comes in its own little case, which I'm sure adds a couple $100, I guess, to the price. But still, $2,800 for basically it's a normal sized bar of soap. So my question is, where do you keep a $2,800 bar of soap? Personally, if I knew my bar of soap was worth that, I'd put it on a rope and then I'd hang it around my neck, and I would never, I'd never let it out of my sight. Or you put it in a safe deposit box in the bank.
Yeah.
Except then, you're done with your workout. You need to take a shower. You got to run over there all sweaty, maybe in your towel because you forgot that you didn't have your soap, and get your key out and take the soap and soap up and then run back to the gym, and doesn't make sense. But the worst thing, John, and I'm sure you thought of this, is that once I do like this maneuver right here, how much are my hairs worth? Because I just wiped a certain amount of diamond and gold underneath there, and now it's there. It's not on the bar anymore. So I feel guilty rinsing it off. Maybe I could shave it off and sell it. I don't know. It really baffled me, A, that someone would pay $2,800 for a bar of soap. And then B, if I had one, what would I do with it? Would I really soap up with it?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't spend that kind of money on soap.
I know. Yeah. I even came up with a motto for them.
Okay.
I think I couldn't pronounce the Lebanese word, so I just call it diamond soap. Diamond soap. 99 and 44 100% of a down payment on a car.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. $2,800, John. $2,800. I'm sure if your lovely wife got a bar of soap for Christmas, A, she'd be upset, and B, she'd be more upset when she found out that you paid $2,800. I'm not even going to guess where you'd be sleeping that night and probably the next month.
No, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there.
No, I don't either. No, I know what the lovely Donna would say. Take it back. Did you save the receipt?
Oh.
So anyway, so how we're doing here. So back on the subject of food, I thought this was interesting. We've talked about this before. Florida is being overrun by giant pythons that came from someplace else. They were pets. And the Everglades are just the absolute great place for pythons to live. So they're growing to be 20 feet long. And they have these hunts, but despite the fact that people go out and hunt them, there's more pythons than there are hunters. So now they're trying to convince Floridians that python meat is good and to go out and catch them yourselves and make them into a dish. Now, I know some Floridians. A, they're not going to eat python unless they know it's kosher. B, they're not. And if they can serve it with bagels or maybe in some soup, with a big matzo ball and python soup, would you eat that, Karen?
No, doesn't sound good to me.
John, I know, unless it was in tomato sauce, I don't think John would, on spaghetti, python meatballs.
Even if it had tomato sauce, I'm not going there either. Sorry, can't do it.
So since it's in Florida, I was thinking, if it's 20 feet long, what else do we eat that's 20 feet long? We get those sandwiches from Subway for the Super Bowl parties that are 20 feet long, and then they cut them up.
Yes.
So maybe that's the way to go. For Subway to figure out a way to cook an entire 20-foot long python, put it on a bun, slice it off, and sell it for a weird Super Bowl party, but
yeah, very
Super
weird.
Bowl party nonetheless.
That's when the Browns finally play in the Super Bowl.
That's right. Well, we don't go making any predictions, Karen. Let's just say, John. That's right. I know John was watching that game in his man cave, where they are now 7-3.
Well, I'll tell you, that game was just played in just poor conditions again. I felt sorry for those people sitting out there, and the players playing in that condition. I mean, that's I've sat through many games where it snows and rains, but rain is the worst.
Yeah,
and cold rain is just the worst. Yeah,
that did not look like fun at all.
Oh, definitely not.
Well, let's move on to something that is a lot more fun, a participation sport, so to speak. In India, get ready, Karen.
I'm ready.
In India, to celebrate the belief that this particular god, I'll see if I can pronounce his name, Birishwara Swami. So to celebrate the belief that this god was born in cow excrement, Indian men are currently having a festival called the Gorhaba Festival, where they roll in balls in pits of cow dung, roll up balls of it, and throw it at each other. Now, my question is, did I really need to say that the participants were men? Or would you just assume that? Because I can't imagine any women doing this.
I can't imagine anybody wanting to do that.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next question.
And I have to say, you've talked about a lot of shitty things today.
Go right there.
Would this? I think you've already answered my question, Karen. Would something like this catch on here?
No, I hope not.
No. Only way I can think of is if it were sponsored by a beer company. Then maybe, but who knows? So sticking with guy things, this is here's our theme here. Last week, we talked about this before. The space station has been leaking for like a year, leaking oxygen, and they finally traced it to the Russian side. And then NASA said, "Hey, you guys, you need to fix this." So last week, there's 2 Russian cosmonauts on the International Space Station. They finally fixed the leak, and here's how they fixed it. They made a spacewalk on the outside, and they patched the hull with a patch made of rubber and aluminum foil. Now, these guys must be dads because that's the ultimate dad fix. I could fix that leak. You don't need to call a plumber. You need to call a space station expert. Give me some rubber and aluminum foil and go watch TV for a little while. And the next thing you know, he comes in and he says, I fixed the leak. Don't worry. It'll be fine. That's it, however they say that in Russian. But this just tells me how far behind we are from science fiction. Would they do something like this on Star Trek? Would Captain Kirk, would Scotty find out that there's a leak in the outside of the Enterprise and go out there with aluminum foil and rubber and some scotch?
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum, yeah. If they had chewing gum on Star Trek, I don't remember them ever chewing gum. Maybe tribbles, but not gum. Anyways, I think that's an expression from Star Trek. Oh, let's go chew a tribble. They cut that out. That was so anyway. So since we were talking a little bit about sports there and the Indian sport of dung throwing, that sounds like a good segue to send us over to John DiNallo and wait a minute, let me reset my brain. What in the world of sports with John DiNallo? So as always, I asked John to come up with a really good, strange sport to talk about on What in the World. And as always, John asked his lovely wife, who was much better at searching the internet, apparently. And she, if I'm not mistaken, John, this is one of your wife's suggestions. And by all means, tell her, I think, what we'll know for sure at the end of the segment, this was another good one.
Yes, this was.
She is famous for cheese rolling, by the way. So let's see how it goes. And I'm going to warn you, I do have some visual aids for this one, John.
Wow.
So, yeah, really. So let's take it away. John, what are we talking about today?
Well, it's not to be outdone by cheese rolling. We have today extreme rowing.
Extreme
rowing.
Okay.
So by definition, rowing on any body of water is either a competitive sport or a recreational / fitness activity.
Okay, I'll buy
that.
Yeah.
So rowing, which is sometimes referred to as crew in the United States.
Crew, okay.
The origins reach back to ancient Egypt. It involves propelling a boat.
In the Nile. Okay, makes sense.
Yes. It involves propelling a boat, referred to as a racing shell, on a body of water using oars.
Okay, so this is rowing. Boat,
correct.
Oars, rowing. If you add a motor, what would that be? That would be cheating, right?
Yes, it would be.
What if you use your hands instead of the oars? That would be floundering.
Correct.
If you throw a fishing pole out the back, that would be trolling.
Right.
Add a 12-pack, it would be partying. And once you do that, you don't care where the boat's going. You just roll around in circles.
That's right.
So far, I like this, John. All right, let's see. So where are you going to take us with this extreme rowing?
So the sport can be recreational for enjoyment or fitness, or competitive when athletes race against each other in boats.
Yep. Okay.
And there are a number of different boat classes in which athletes compete, ranging from an individual shell, which is called a single scull, SCULL.
Oh. Wrong
all the way to an 8-person with a coxswain called a Cox 8.
Cox 8. I get that station. Do you get that station, Karen? Cox 8?
No, we don't have Cox here.
Oh, you
We
don't?
have Spectrum.
Oh boy, we're treading dangerous waters here.
So to speak.
So to speak. Thank you, John. All right, well, we better move right on.
So to let you folks know, the training and physical strain on the body required to be a successful rower is very intense.
Yeah.
A very tough mind and body is needed to succeed.
It's boring. It isn't, rowing, isn't it kind of boring?
I'll explain.
Looking at the back of the head of the person in front of you.
Well, I mean, it's a very rigorous sport. I mean,
I'm sorry, John. Yes, you're right. It is. Okay.
Wait. So the extreme rowing sport, as we know it now, is referred to as coastal rowing. Coastal rowing is one of the fastest growing extreme sport communities worldwide. It is already very popular and growing each year in Italy, France, Great Britain, and North America. Okay. However, the sport is also firmly entrenched in Latin America, the Maldives Island, and Africa.
Interesting. Latin America rowing, which would be escaping, wouldn't it?
Down the Amazon.
Down the Amazon.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
There it is.
Towards Cuba.
Yeah.
Coastal rowing is also called North America open water rowing. And it's called coastal rowing because it is primarily practiced in the sea.
Okay. Where there's
extreme conditions.
Right? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Waves in the ocean.
Yes, exactly.
I think we're getting extreme now.
Well, actually, rowing in extreme conditions is not an issue. In fact, the bigger the waves, the more fun the sport.
Yeah. I lost my stomach thinking of that.
Okay. I was going to show you a picture, Karen, but if you already lost your stomach, you're ready for it. Let's take a look at, let's look at this one first here. This is a boat hitting an extreme wave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine doing that?
No.
John, I know you wouldn't be in that. You'd be in
I would not. No, I would.
Press boat behind it.
No, I am not there. I am not there.
Look at this one. This one's going over the top of it like a.
Oh no.
So they went up. Now they're coming back down again. That just does not appeal to me at all.
No.
Again, a tough mind.
This is a big time sport,
right? Tough mind, tough body. Got to have both. Got to have both. So anyway, because the harsher the conditions by design, coastal rowing boats are much more stable and much more robust compared to Olympic style ones.
Robust. That's what I would be, a robust.
Oh.
I'll give you that one, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
All right. But anyway, the FISA, which is the World Rowing Federation, the World Rowing Coastal Championships for that organization are open to all coastal rowers without any pre-qualification. So you have to have no credentials in terms of being a previous rower or being a strong swimmer or any kind of like connection with water. There's no pre-qualification.
You don't even have to be sober.
Right.
I have a great idea for our next, trip that we're going to take. Okay. John, you got to get Annette to come with you.
Okay.
And you have to bring Donna. I can't bring Richard. He's afraid of the water. So it's just the 5 of us rowing.
Okay. In a boat. Okay.
In a boat.
Go.
In a bathtub.
In a bathtub.
That's a lot safer.
Yeah.
Boy, no kidding. Yeah. All right. So, John, I'm sure there's competitions. Let's hear about some of them.
Yeah, sure. Well, this year the World Rowing Coastal Championship was supposed to be held in Lima, Peru. Well,
in the
as
ocean.
we all know,
Yeah.
we know what the outcome was there. But other interesting events worldwide include the 2015 Mediterranean Beach Games in Pescara, Italy, the 2015 Barcelona Skyline, and then finally the San Remo to Monaco race, which is 32 kilometers or 19 miles long, again, along the coast.
19 miles of rowing.
Right, the competition. So those people are competing for 19 miles.
Fast,
Wow.
yeah, rowing fast. That's
In 2018, the most extreme rowing race in the world was held, and it was a total of 850 kilometers or 528 miles.
528 miles.
That's correct. This event saw the racers wind their way along the Vltava and Elbe rivers across half of the entire European continent, starting in Prague, Czechoslovakia, and ending in Hamburg, Germany.
This is like the Tour de France of rowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, except not downhill or uphill. It's just flat.
Right. Well, here's what's interesting.
Did they
stages.
have to carry their boat from one river to the other? Like put the rowboat over your head and go run from
I think you have that image. I think we have that image of that. That's right. But
I'm sorry. So this is a multi-stage event, right?
Well, yes, and it's hard to fathom this. 12 stages to the entire race. The shortest is 53 kilometers or 33 miles. The longest is 107 miles. 107 kilometers or 66 miles.
66 miles.
Think of this. Yeah. Think in these terms. River waters are very powerful, and combined with poor weather conditions, there are very daunting days in this multi-stage regatta. Wow. There can be very, very extreme days, so to speak.
Oh, this is I don't know. It's to me okay. So if it's extreme, I mean, waves sound extreme, I know, and weather sounds extreme. But this, John, you've talked about this before. Really extreme sport. This needs something more. This needs like obstacles. Maybe put a big rock in the middle of the river or the ocean for them to, or a boat. Maybe an oil tanker of some sort. If it's an ocean, so they got to row around the oil tanker and then damn oil tanker, or sharks. Now I would row fast if there was a shark following me. I guarantee you that. So. But anyways, I know they don't do any of that because
they don't. They try to keep it as
federation. You don't mess with the federation.
Right. Well, exactly. Now
they send the federales after you.
Well, yeah, they will. They will. This is a regulated sport. So, unfortunately, the pandemic has shut down the big outdoor extreme rowing events. So people that are competitive,
right,
they're breaking records indoors instead of on rowing machines.
Rowing machines. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
So
maybe I don't know. Let's
find out what they're doing. Either.
Yeah, that's right. Instead of looking at the back of somebody, well, you could watch TV, I guess, Karen.
I guess. Yeah. Well.
Watch the news. Oh, geez.
No.
Watch the back of somebody's head. So, John, how about some of these records?
Sure. Here's the records. So for the world 100,000 meters, which is, think of this, 62 miles.
62 miles, okay.
Okay, for a single person in a skull, Joel Nakarainen from Finland. And he was able to do it in 6 hours, 6 minutes, 6.1 seconds. And he's in the age group of 20 to 29.
Rode the equivalent of 62 miles in a little over 6 hours.
Right. Wow. Now for the ladies, Margit Hensen of Denmark, and she's in the category of, or age category, 50 to 59. She did 100,000 meters in 7 hours, 18 minutes, and 28.6 seconds.
So she could be 59.
Yes.
Sitting on a rowing machine for 7 hours rowing. I can't sit and watch TV for 7 hours without.
Well, that's the record. That's the record.
Yeah. Well, I could beat the record, but I'd be sitting in my chair doing this.
Gets a little repetitive. That's
right. Okay.
So for 24 hours of rowing, though.
Oh, so this is even more extreme. 24 hours straight of rowing.
Think of this. of course, for the male is Vasilis Santatoriatis of Greece.
We'll be getting
Age
letters.
category, yeah, go figure. His age category is 30 to 39, 318,106 meters, or
So
198 miles.
198
Wow.
miles in 24 hours. Wow.
And for the ladies, not to be outdone, Kristen Jeffrey of Canada, and she's in the same category, same age category, 30 to 39, 270,609 meters, or 167 miles.
160
Minutes, excuse me, minutes.
They must get. They must be allowed to get up and go to the bathroom. I would think, unless they.
Now hold on to your hats with this one. Hold on to your
John
hats.
doesn't want to talk about that.
Well, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
For 1,000,000 meters,
1,000,000 meters,
which is the equivalent of
621
621 miles.
Wow.
Okay.
For the man, Andrew Abrahams of Australia, he's in the category age of 40 to 49, 4 days, 23 hours, and 50 minutes.
4 non-stop rowing machine rowing, 4 days. That's insane.
And the ladies is Michelle Lee from Australia. Age category 40 to 49, 5 days, 21 hours, and 35 minutes.
Michelle Lee, Karen.
She was an
did
actress.
Yeah. Oh, and she's a singer too. She did it while singing "How Do You See?"
Oh, it's not that Michelle Lee. What are you thinking? It's not that Michelle Lee. But
she's still alive, by the way. I looked her up because I saw that and I said, "Oh my God, that Michelle Lee, really?"
Yeah.
The Michelle Lee is still alive. I don't think she performs anymore, but God bless her. Yeah, great actress, great singer.
Yeah, she was a very good singer. Sure.
Yeah. So
Maybe we should
not a very good extreme rower.
No, that's okay. She didn't have to be that.
I guess not. No, she made it without having to row.
Yes, right.
She wasn't in Poseidon Adventure or any movies like that. So,
Right.
Wow. So that turned out much better than we thought there, John. Extreme rowing, courtesy of the lovely Annette. Tell her thank you for us. And
I'll let her know. Sure.
We'll be looking forward to see what other kind of weird sports she comes up with for you to talk about next week. There's something to talk about over Thanksgiving dinner. We have Thanksgiving dinner coming up in 2 days, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
So, John, if you're looking for some conversation, I know you'll have a few guests for Thanksgiving. Maybe you can play Bluff the Co-host with them. Maybe
you know
not.
what? No, wait a minute. Listen, that's part of my regimen. I try to introduce situations where I can be challenged by strange information to see if it's right or not. So I could try to work this into some kind of conversation.
Work it into the conversation. Pass the gravy. And by the way.
Yeah, but by the way, and if I'm successful, that'll build my confidence tremendously.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot your confidence down right off the bat here, John, with another edition of Bluff the Co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. We play it every week. John loves it. Karen puts up with it. She feels better when she wins, which we all do. But the premise is that I have 3 stories, very similar to the ones we've been talking about this afternoon. The difference being some may be true, some may be a bluff, and it's up to Karen and John to determine which are real and which are a bluff. So no wagering, but you're welcome to memorize the stories and bring them up during your Thanksgiving dinner. So without further ado, Karen and John, hands on the buzzer, and we'll start with story number 1. While waiting for the pandemic to end, so his band can go on another retirement concert tour to celebrate almost 60 years of not retiring, Rolling Stones lead guitarist Keith Richards has been entertaining himself at his home in Connecticut by killing bugs. Not with a bug zapper or spray or a swatter, Keith is killing mosquitoes, flies, and other blood-sucking insects by letting them suck his blood. He found out about his blood's magical powers one night when he fell asleep on the front porch of his house and awoke with a pile of dead bugs mysteriously on the floor. He saw two skeeters staggering across his arm and realized that he was the cause of their demise. This prompted Keith to sit outside every night under the porch light and count how many bugs he could kill. His current record was 30 on a very hot and muggy night. His doctor can't explain it, but his doctor can't explain why Keith is still alive either. So for now, Keith is content to watch the bugs die, but Mick Jagger thinks he should sell his blood to pay for college tuition for his 5 kids and 5 grandkids that he knows of. So, Keith Richards killing bugs with his obviously potent blood that's managed to keep himself alive despite whatever he's added to that bloodstream. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll go with you first.
Well, it's true that mosquitoes die after they bite you or suck your blood. They die.
Okay.
So it could be real, but I'm going to say false.
So you say it's a bluff.
I'm going to say it's a bluff. Yeah.
Oh, well, based on this.
I mean, I know they do die off, but I don't think he'd sit out there and be bitten like that. And
We're talking about Keith Richards here.
I know, but I'm going to say bluff.
All right, John. I know you're a Rolling Stones fan. What do you think?
I am a Rolling Stones fan, and I'm going to say it's a bluff. And I'm going to go so far as to say, if it's not a bluff, I'll eat my hat.
Oh,
Let's see the hat.
Oh, I got plenty upstairs.
Well, lucky you. That was a bluff.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Karen, way to go.
Good.
Each got one. Okay.
Okay. All right. Story number 2. It's not a world record, but a 64-year-old woman in Japan was arrested at a grocery store for jabbing her finger into 13 extremely hard and very expensive melons before a store employee could stop her. The melons look like cantaloupes, but are actually a rare offshoot that sell for $10 a piece. What worried the cops who arrested her is that the woman appeared to be a trained martial artist using a kind of kung fu to thrust her index finger into each hard melon to test for freshness, something she could have done simply by shaking it. After making her keep her finger where they could see it, they escorted her to customer service, made her pay for the melons, and led her to her car. Then they ran away when it looked like she was going to pick her nose.
Oh.
So, other than that last line, real or bluff, John? The lady who pokes her martial artist, 64 years old, thrust her fingers into melons to test for freshness.
I know that when I shop for melons at the grocery store, I'm always wondering what's inside because you can't see the inside.
Okay.
And so I'm going to say it's real. I'm going to say I'm going real on this one.
The melon thruster is a real story, according to John. All right, John. Karen, what do you think?
I hope it's not real, so I'm going to say bluff.
You're going to say bluff. You don't believe that there's a lady who...
Oh, there could be, but I don't want to think about it.
Well, John, you're ahead by 1. That's a real story.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, it'll stay.
That's in a strange category, Paul, when you think of it. I mean, it's just so strange it's true. I mean,
there you go.
It's weird, strange, odd, peculiar, whatever,
Perfect for Bluff the co-host.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, so John's ahead by 1. Ooh, don't get too cocky there, John. Okay, story number 3. For anyone who doesn't feel safe in a swimming pool unless their feet can touch the bottom, stay away from a new pool in Poland, which set a new world record for the world's deepest swimming pool. This Olympic length swimming pool is 148 feet deep and holds as much water as 27 Olympic sized swimming pools of normal depth. While you can use it to swim laps horizontally, the owners plan to rent it to scuba divers for swimming vertically. If that's not enough, and it never is, the pool is next to a sunken hotel where guests can look out their room windows to watch the divers. And it's next to a sunken restaurant where patrons can tease the hungry divers with plates of kielbasa and fish pierogies. There are signs on the wall warning swimmers that if they drop a wedding ring or a watch and it goes to the bottom, it sleeps with the fishes. So, the world's deepest swimming pool in Poland that's connected to a hotel where instead of looking out the window, you look at divers diving for whatever they dive for in a 148 feet deep pool. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll go back to you.
Well, the sad part is our Polish friend is not on
Oh,
YouTube today.
Christoph.
Yeah. So, I can't even get a hint from him.
Well, Donna's Polish. I think he might be on. I'm not sure what she's.
Well, Donna's on, but I think Donna has all the answers anyways.
She's quick with the Wikipedia.
So I'm gonna say it's true.
True. World record swimming pool in Poland, of all places. Yep. All right, John, what do you think?
I'm thinking it's going to be true.
Another one.
I think it's true. Yeah, I can see this. I can envision it. I mean, yeah, it's something particular, something very unique, right? I mean, that's going to be a calling card for this place. If it is 148 feet deep, I'm going to say it's true.
John says it's.
And Donna says, fault even too wacky for Poles.
She caught it. Yeah, she doesn't even believe in fish pierogies, which I know are a real thing. So let's see. The points were doubled in the second round. John and Karen both got it right.
And John won all three.
All right. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
So John, not only did you win,
my studying is paid off.
The mail. Yep, there you go. You don't have to eat your hat, and now you got something to talk about at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, we do.
The lovely Donna, I'm sure, will be feeding me fish pierogies. So, as punishment. But anyway, so we've reached the end of Bluff the Co-host, which means we've reached the end of another edition of What in the World. I want to thank Karen for everything she does at newclevelandradio.net, in addition to being host of What in the World. I want to thank my old friend John for all that he does in What in the World of Sports with all the weird stuff and trivia. Thank you again, John. We'll be back here next week after Thanksgiving, so we'll find out how John fared with his relatives, if they're smarter than he is. Don't answer that, Karen.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to start studying right now when we're off the show.
Everybody stay
with some
safe.
kind of plan. So yeah.
There you go. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Don't go out. Think about getting together with everybody and being grateful for still being alive next year. So
absolutely.
On that note, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.